Next up, we have a session called 3 Actionable Ways to Improve Your Cloud Storage. And actionable is the key word there. Here to tell us all about it is Alexey Rodchikov from Solidigm. I hope, you tell me if Solidigm, am I saying it correctly? Come on up, Alexey, come up, you tell me how to pronounce it correctly.
Thank you, Jeff.
Go get him.
Wow. Hello, CloudFest. It's great to be here. Well, my name is Alexey. I am from Solidigm, right? And this is the first thing I would like to address. I know it's very tempting to say Solidigm, but in fact, it's the combination of solid and paradigm. That's why it is actually Solidigm. So for those of you who know Solidigm already, we are a new storage company. But in case you didn't have a chance to know who we are yet, I'm going to make a quick introduction. Solidigm is the company that was formed at the end of 2021 as the result of acquisition of Intel NAND SSD business by SK hynix. We are the company which is headquartered in San Jose, California, and I would be saying that we are a company that comprises of one of the industry's best engineers, problem solvers, and leaders, which are formed by a blend of Intel employees, or should I say ex-Intel employees, critical outside talent, and also expertise of SK hynix. Our goal is to become the go-to partner for optimized storage solutions. And with that, I hope this gives you the brief understanding who we are, what we do, and let's go to the agenda items. Well, every day we generate a lot of data, right? I'm pretty sure that every single attendee of this CloudFest event is an active internet user, right? We are part of massive 4.6 billion active internet users, and we generate about 1,000 petabytes of data daily. We actually send about 300 billion emails every day. We exchange about 100 billion WhatsApp messages. We actually check weather forecast about 26 billion times a day. This is a lot. When it comes to online videos and when it comes to YouTube only, we actually watch about 1 billion hours of YouTube videos, which is actually about 5 billion videos as such every single day. In fact, for me, online videos became the primary source of education, be it like, for example, understanding how the specific software works, or what the software tricks I could use, or maybe like understanding what the black hole is about, right? And in addition to the flood of data, there are new and more sophisticated workloads and tools appearing, right? Last week was pretty rich when it comes to AI services announcements. You probably heard about ChatGPT-4 being announced, right? And Midjourney V5 was made available. Obviously, a lot of sample data is required in order to train those models. But the other aspect is even more important. When I tried to check the new ChatGPT-4, I was actually out of luck, simply because the service was at full capacity. I couldn't ask a question about the meaning of the life, or what can I do in order to make my presentation a bit more attractive, right? It was just simply unavailable. What it means? It means that a lot of users are actually using those sophisticated tools in order to generate even more data. And that's why it's really interesting what will happen in the next 3 to 5 years. It's mind-blowing, really. And when it comes to storage, today's storage and future storage should be able to manage those excessive volumes of data. Why is it important? Because this is how we could achieve better value, capacity, and performance. Behind me, you see 3 actionable steps that we are going to cover today. And yeah, let's go to number 1. The first one is paying less for your storage. If you are a cloud company using SSDs today, I'm pretty confident that you are actually overbuying when it comes to your storage needs. Why is that? There is a simple explanation. We talk to a lot of customers, including here and on our daily basis, what we do for business. And what we find is that majority of those customers actually have little understanding, limited insight into what kind of workloads are being used by both their internal and external customers. At the same time, workload landscape is massively changing. Most of workloads that we are seeing today are actually more read-intensive. At the same time, they design their infrastructure for worst-case scenario, meaning that they expect that it could be a really mixed workload or write-intensive applications. But again, many of those, in fact, up to 90% based on the study that I am referencing here today, is actually saying that 95% of those workloads are actually read-intensive. That's why if you are using those workloads today and have limited understanding of that, this is actually the opportunity to increase efficiency. How? By paying less price per gigabyte with SSDs or increasing the density. And this is exactly what we designed our value series of Solidigm SSDs for. Those are being designed to achieve better value and higher density when it comes to capacity. Now, let's look at number 2. And this is basically the key reason why you might be overbuying your SSD storage today. And the reason is endurance. Well, when first data centers SSDs started to be deployed back in maybe 2010, the behavior of those drives and the workloads were not very well understood. I remember when I had the first enterprise SSD in my hands, it was the drive which was designed with technology called SLC, single level cell. It means that every single cell of the SSD could actually store 1 bit of information, 1 or 0. And the endurance profile of those drives was actually about 40 drive writes per day, 40. Over time, the appetite for endurance actually gradually decreased when it comes to what storage architects consider it. It slowly went from 40, then to 10, then to 5, and now we are settling around 3 and 1, right? This is pretty good evolution, right? And this retrospective gives us the perspective that those workloads and the behavior of drives are much better understood right now, and those old drives are becoming smarter. They are able to manage the data intelligently internally. This is the intelligence that we built into the firmware. In fact, we expect that about 85% of data centers SSDs which are shipped today have actually endurance profile of 1 drive writes per day and less. And based on this study, which has a big sample data, which is statistically significant, it actually says that 99% of those drives actually use at most 15% of rated life of the drives by the end of life cycle. What it means? It means that there is an opportunity for increasing efficiency, and there is an opportunity for saving as well. So I mentioned the very first data center drives which I had in my hands back in 2009. And the maximum capacity of this SSD was 64 gigabytes. What I'm holding in my hands right now is the existing model. You see it still has Intel logo. And this is actually the QLC drive. This is quad-level cell technology. It means that every cell could actually store 4 bits of information. It is four times more compared to the very first drives which I mentioned before. And the capacity of this drive is actually 30 terabytes, 30. But in fact, later on this year, we are going to introduce the successor of this drive, which will have Solidigm logo on it. But more importantly, we are going to double the capacity. 60 terabytes, 60, will be available later on this year. And this is a lot of data. And also, I would like to stress that those drives have enough endurance not to wear out that quickly as it once may have appeared. Now, let's talk about number 3. Many of you downloaded the CloudFest app, right? And I did so as well. So when I looked into the feed that people, attendees were sharing, it was quite interesting to see that many people were actually sharing how many years they are attending CloudFest, right? It's quite pleasing probably for CloudFest team to see that people are attending CloudFest like 5th time, 6th time. I actually saw someone who said that they've been going to the events 11 years. Those are very loyal returning customers, right? For those of you who were brave enough to come to CloudFest last year, probably remember the key topic for the very first post-pandemic CloudFest 2022, which was sustainable cloud. I had the privilege to be in the audience. I was listening to sessions, attending panel discussions, and talking to attendees. And it basically became pretty obvious that sustainability is an important topic for many of the cloud professionals, customers, industry, regulators, and communities at all, right? And it also means that this is a big investment. This is a big investment into understanding the supply chain, what carbon footprint of the hardware providers are, right? Redesigning supply chain, redesigning the internal processes. I also remember one of the speakers was saying that they are redesigning chassis in order to enable multiple use over a longer period of time for sustainability reasons. But at the same time, the good news is that when it comes to cloud storage, more affordable storage could be more sustainable storage as well. And let me give you a very specific example of that. We actually worked with one of our customers, US-based cloud service provider, which deliver content delivery networks. And they were looking for the upgrade of their existing solution, which is the combination of 3-level cell, like mainstream SSDs, and also HDDs, which they are using as a combined solution. And when we worked with them, and we identified that actually Solidigm value series SSD could be a replacement, the result of this project was a massive 4.9x reduction in physical footprint. 4.9x, almost 5x. They also received very massive weight reduction simply because you have less servers to manage. That was a massive 4.6x power reduction. And with the growing power costs, this is actually quite an important topic to look at. Obviously, when you have much less servers to care about, this is also the opportunity to spend less. And you need less effort to cool down the servers and dissipate less heat and remove it from the data center. And when it comes to end-of-life disposal, simply that was less servers to care about. They actually saw a massive 3.6x improvement when it comes to number of servers they need to dispose at the end of life cycle. But this is kind of a pretty far example, right? US-based. Let me give you another real-life example, which is much closer to us. We are currently working with cloud service provider, which is headquartered in Europe. But they are operating globally. And we had a chance to provide them the Solidigm value series SSDs for evaluation. In fact, this is the brother of this drive, but with smaller capacity, 15 terabyte drive. They've got it at the end of last year. And early this year, they shared the early testing results with us. And in fact, they said that they see the opportunity to replace their older solution, which actually uses older SSD drives, and replace every 10 racks that they have installed globally with just one single rack of servers with Solidigm P5316 15 terabyte drives. This is a massive 10x reduction when it comes to consolidation ratio, 10 to 1, no question about it. But at the same time, they saw about 6x improvement in performance. So that's why this is really a significant improvement compared to what they had before. And again, when it comes to physical footprint, number of servers, weight reduction, power reduction, this is all working well. And this is one of the reasons why they are looking into this. I hope that I will be able to share more specific details about those numbers with you pretty soon, because this is an ongoing project. But early results are looking very promising. So that's why with Solidigm Value Series SSDs, the more affordable storage could be also more sustainable storage. Well, as I mentioned, our ultimate goal is to become the go-to partner for optimized data storage solution. We are here for you, right? And this is the reason why we are here at CloudFest. If you will have a chance to talk to us, and we are located at booth F05, let's discuss what you are using today and what is the opportunity for improvement when it comes to cost saving, for example. Come to us and let's see what kind of workloads you are running. If you have limited insight into that, we will be more than happy to show you the very easy-to-use tool and also share it with you that would allow you to understand what is actually the requirement of your workload and how to right-size the SSD for the given task that you have. This is something which is running in our booth. This is very visible, very easy to use. Please come over and check. Another thing, when it comes to sustainability, let's discuss your goals, your future-looking goals, and see how we could assist you with achieving those. We want to become the go-to storage partner for every single one of you. And that means that we have to make our portfolio pretty broad, because you are representing different companies. You have different set of requirements, and you have different preferences as well. And that's why, it could be a pretty daunting task to understand, what is the best size, what is the best SKU, what is the form factor, what is the capacity or endurance profile that you need. That's why we are here. Talk to us, and we will do the best effort in order to match the best solution tailored to exactly your needs. Thank you for your attention. Thank you for being with me today. It is a pleasure and very exciting to be here at CloudFest, and I hope to see you at booth F05.
Hi, Alexei. Thank you so much. I wanted to ask, I know you mentioned the cost effectiveness for potential customers. Do you have specific savings that you can mention here?
Yeah. Well, first of all, thanks for paying attention. And secondly, when it comes to specific numbers, I would say that value series of Solidigm SSDs are about 15 to 20% cheaper compared to the mainstream solutions. So those are the specific numbers that we could expect.
Okay, amazing. And you mentioned the 60 terabyte, that is going to be available later this year.
Yeah.
And the fact that you have it in your back pocket is just incredible.
Not yet.
Well, thank you so much for the time. Appreciate you joining us here on the .com stage.
My pleasure. Enjoy the rest of the show.
Thanks.